Hey everyone, hope you are doing well. Not a fun video. This does discuss the topic where people are reportedly counseling or ending their lives. So it may be triggering for some. If this video triggers you or offends you or it's extremely sensitive to you in any fashion, maybe you want to go ahead and skip this video, okay? This was sent to me and I feel it's a conversation that needs to be had. You can look on the screen here. And I'm going to say this, I've heard for years that when it comes to people deciding to no longer continue living and when they commit acts to do so, that some of the parents are like, "Oh, don't say my son or daughter did this. Just say," and they'll make up something. I've heard this being told to a pastor, people doing the eulogies. They don't want to get out. They want to keep it a secret. And a lot of people just can't handle life right now. And I think as a result, unfortunately, some are taking this very painful route. And it's devastating to the ones who are left behind. So as you can see on the screen here, let me play this clip. It shows the rate, ages 10 to 19, African American, Black African American, and then you see white. So let's check out some information, please. Again, it may be triggering, my apologies, but these conversations need to be had. Someone said to me, oh, someone sent a comment, an email, oh, it is a doomsday channel. Oh, you think so? And that's the problem. A lot of people want to live with your head in the sand, and the information is out there. We don't want to acknowledge it or discuss it because it may be uncomfortable. But in the meantime, in between time, real life is happening. So listen to this.
Experts have warned about a growing mental health crisis among America's young people. But within that trend, there are important signals about racial disparities. Between the years 2018 and 2022, the suicide rate among Black youth rose by more than 50%, for the first time surpassing white youth, who saw a 17% decline. Special correspondent Fred DeSam Lazaro has this story from Chicago.
50% for the first time. 50%. Talk about doomsday. Sometimes reality is. We have to face reality to address these issues. When I say they're going to starve you out, and this video is saying, hey, Black Americans are taking their lives amid lack of resources. Amid what? Lack of resources. That's in the title. They're taking their lives amid lack of resources. Gee, what have I been saying on this channel? What has Dr. Claude Anderson been saying for decades? But we don't want to hear that. And now we're here.
Experts have warned about a growing mental health crisis among America's young people. But within that trend, there are important signals about racial disparities. Between the years 2018 and 2022, the suicide rate among Black youth rose by more than 50%, for the first time surpassing white youth, who saw a 17% decline.
So for the first time, and they didn't just start keeping records last week, for the first time, the suicide rate has surpassed that of white youth. And they're seeing a decline. Like in the video title, what is it? Black Americans taking their lives amid lack of resources. If that's happening now, we've got 50% for the first time. What do you think is going to happen when one study projects that by the year 2030, that Black unemployment is going to be at 50, not 15, 50, 50, half of 100, is going to be at 50%. Black unemployment is going to be at 50, is projected to be at 50% by 2030. In Chicago, we've been having Black youth riding the train, nowhere to go homeless, a major unemployment issue. No one's addressing those issues, behavior issues. lack of family issues, fatherless home issues. No one wants to address that because that can be triggering and you can be counseled and people will get mad. So, what are we going to do? Continue on down this trajectory of poverty? 50% Black suicide rates increase at 50% for the first time, surpassing white youth. Why? It's just they're taking their lives amid of lack of resources. So again, if that's happening now, what do you think is going to happen if 2050? I'm sorry, 2030. We're in August now, 2024. 5 years from now, what do you forecast is going to happen? And the old adage that, oh, it's going to be all right, that's not working. It's not working.
Between 2015 and 2021, more than 360 Black people died by suicide in Chicago. According to a University of Chicago study, the trends in that time largely mirrored what happened nationally. Black residents were the only group to experience significant increases in suicides among both men and women. Meanwhile, suicide...
Did you hear that? And here's the Chicago suicide trends. Gee, what's happening in Chicago? An abundance of resources? No. You know what's happening in Chicago? They've got the migrants there. Gee, got our people, the American citizens, are sitting up here, teenagers living on, I guess, railway trains or what have you. And but the migrants were in a hotel. The migrants were given checks, some with $7,000 or $10,000. And then you know what some of the migrants did? Put their money together and bought all dilapidated buildings and moved their families into it and then trying to fix it up. That's what building looks like. As I said before, say it again. Think everything is fun and games. Oh, okay. Keep playing. While we're sitting up here playing and being delusional, somebody's sitting up here planning. This right here, unfortunately, is what happens when I say they're going to starve you out. Remember that black man they did a news conference about him seeking assistance for the Section 8 program, and they told him, sure, sir, you can apply for housing. However, you are going to be waitlisted because we've been told to prioritize the migrants, the immigrants. And they did the big old news conference and the news came out there and what have you. And that's sad, but let's think about it. But at the end of the day, even though he did that news conference, and thanks for reporting that to enlighten us of what's going on, of the plight of our citizens in Chicago, at the end of the day, despite that news conference providing information, guess what? Still homeless. Despite that news conference, guess what? Sign up for welfare, for a voucher program, for housing, a place to live. Still waitlisted. They've been told to prioritize the migrants. Why do you think that is? Limited resources. They can find money when it's so very convenient. So if it's a competition for resources, what do you think is happening? Someone's going to get them and someone's going to go without. I made the analogy before. It's like having, let's say, a small town. And you've got a job posting, and typically maybe 10 or 15 people will show up for the job interview or to apply for that job. Now, you bringing in some migrants and other people, let's say anyone. Oh, you just brought an additional 300 people. Well, if they just got here, of course, they need jobs. So therefore, if you have a job opening where typically maybe 10, 15 people might show up for the job, well, now you may have 100 people to show up for that darn job. That lessens your chance of getting selected. Ooh, you think? Competition for resources. We want to let everybody in and be friends. And hey, I got a hey for you. People are here for resources. They're not here to be your friends. And to be honest, who wants to be friends with somebody who's at the bottom? Who wants to be friends with somebody who's at the bottom and been there and gonna stay there? Don't have your own economy. Don't believe in family. We want to go ahead, see a downward spiral, but we are so not going to be wrong. Or Big Mama not going to be wrong. And that's just how we do it. Well, how's it turning out? A lack of resources in Chicago. You think so? I said before, wow, they're gonna flip the script where you're gonna have America's homeless, but the immigrants are gonna be sheltered. If they could find all these resources, and I understand it's in a sanctuary city, that's what you signed up for. Now we really see what it's all about. And if amnesty come next, oh, it's a done deal. And if you think that's just Chicago again, things are not just done by accident. It's all willy nilly. No, it's done by design. It's by design. So, what do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen? They're bringing in more people into other cities. We don't have our own economy. We're very good at dysfunction. I'm going to put out a video I just uploaded this morning. Other folks are doing arbitrage. We sitting up here doing sabotage. How's that working out? I've been saying they're going to starve you out. Oh, Trump said to Orange Head, we don't like him. Now I think we get it when he was saying to keep him out because he knew it was going to be an expense. Yeah. I think we get it now. Now, he said they're after you, I'm in the way. That could have been a number of things. Now I think I see. Now we get it. A little late, but I mean, it's now we get it. He said to keep him out. Now the same ones hollering, we don't like Donald Trump. You better stop getting emotional and think about business. And regardless if it's Trump or Kamala Harris, the Democrats, life is business. We want to go ahead and just fight. No. Everybody can't sit up and just get a damn check. I'm sorry to tell you. Somebody's got to go to work. Someone has to have a business to operate, to make the money, to pay the taxes so somebody can get a check. Some of us are so anti-black capitalism, it is sickening. Well, let those other folks come and save the day for you. When resources get limited, the ones who are on the bottom, the ones who don't understand life, that's the ones who's going to suffer. High unemployment, homelessness. A lot of that can be contributed to ignorance, and we got a one-way mind. If you don't like what I'm saying, you're going to get mad and cancel me. Well, keep on doing what you're doing. How's that working out for you? Now, I want some Chicago. I want them out of here. Well, it's a little late. The one that said keep him out, you didn't like him. I want them out of here. They getting our tax dollars. No kidding. We need jobs. Well, every time a black man or woman try to start a business, it's going to be another black man or woman in the community, a defect that's going to show up and probably steal from them. They ain't trying to make some money off me and then just kill them. And you wonder why everybody understands, but somebody doesn't. And then want to be ignorant and don't want to hear it. You don't have to. Maybe that's why what's coming. Maybe that's why the replacement is here. And the one candidate that we don't like, the group doesn't seem to like, that's the one that's sent to keep them out. So those folks not going anywhere unless Trump wins and all this. In the meantime, in between time, what's the BC gonna be doing? Sitting up, waiting on what? Again, black unemployment. If this is happening now, you might think it's just Chicago. Do you not understand? If this is happening now, and we have high unemployment now, what's going to happen if the projection of 2030 becomes true, that black unemployment is suspected to be 50%? When you don't have resources, how the heck you afford your house or your apartment or your condo, or the HOA, or your car, or food? Seeing black mothers now, the department, the system, in my food stamp card, the debit card isn't, EBT card isn't working. What am I going to do about me and my 4 kids? But hey, keep on being baby mama. Keep on creating the fatherless home with a broke down man, Tyrone. He can't take care of himself, but you let him into your bed and keep procreating. And when the food card don't work, child, that's just great. Oh, where is he? My mother said, poor people don't listen. And we were middle class. We grew up with summers in Malibu, Monterey. Don't want to listen. Hey, do you? That's why a lot of women right now need help, but they might get a hold of these diabolical baby daddies that's dangerous, cause scenes, and cause a lot of problems. People don't want to help, they don't want to get involved. Where's the village? Everybody's trying to retreat and take care of themselves. Why? Life is too hard, it's too stressful. Many people have gotten hurt trying to help, and I know about that. I'm done. Try to tell people, let's try to work together. We can make everybody wealthy but each other. And now look, so the ones you made wealthy, go ahead and call them for a helping hand. That's why I said when things are going bad, please don't go to a black business owner trying to sit up here and own a company. Please don't do it. I told a friend of mine, like the one that had the family reunion. So you got about 300 family members. These are adults. They all need insurance, but no, you can't even get five to give you a quote. But all this, oh, we love each other. Girl, cut the bull crap. This is so hypocritical. Oh, we're gonna go to church together now, and if you need me, call me. Well, why can't you help run her business? Oh, well, listen, I love you, but when it comes to doing business, I know you have an insurance background, but I don't want you to make no money off me. But we're family. But I and what they're saying is, I want to really make sure that people that don't look like me that they have food on their table. Or when they need a place to stay, call a white man and an Asian man and a Latino man to come help you out. I told her, and you got someone that's staying in your house, they can't afford a hotel. I think the hell not. You've got what, maybe two houses, little properties paid for. Don't tell them. She's like, oh, I know. I said, I can already see what's going to happen. When people start doing what you call dry begging, like, oh no, my rent is so high, I don't know what I'm going to do. Hint, hint, looking at you, keep saying it. Dry begging. You're supposed to go, oh, well, we have a property over here that's paid for. I told, don't tell them. Because you know what's going to happen. They see you're doing well. And you have to get creative and do another business. They see that you're doing well. All they're going to want to go ahead and do is move into your house and stay for free, and you'll never get paid. And then you're going to have to evict them, and then they're going to go ahead and tear it up. You're going to have to go ahead and put more money into that. It's going to be a whole lot of family drama. So what they can do, I believe sometimes it's the best option. You're going to get what you give. So what they can do, call the ones you patronize. She's like, oh, I'm like, you definitely don't tell them. Don't tell them that your 19-year-old has a trust fund, and he also has a property paid for. And I don't mean some shack that costs $60,000 either. Now I'm just saying, a fixer upper, and you got to put 100,000. No, 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 no. You can't tell them. Move in silence, because when it comes to patronizing you, they move in silence. They move someplace else and stay silent and go help somebody else. Not understanding if I'm like 300. What? You can't get any customers out of your family? That's the norm in the black community. Not knowing the business can go and continue on and maybe hire somebody in the family. Keep being stupid. Keep being jealous. Don't want you in my business. So when times get hard, don't go to black business owners. They're not trying to hear what your problem is. Good luck with it. Go to the ones you patronize. Don't understand business. Can't get along. If it's not the business owner, it's the customer. But can get along with everybody else. They say you think education is expensive. Child, try ignorance. We should know something about that. And when you don't have resources, that's why you have this on the screen. In Chicago, that black man that spoke about him going to get requesting a voucher for Section 8 and then telling him, oh, you can apply for it, but guess what? It's going to be waitlisted. And I guess they put you on the list. I mean, obviously, you wait. Oh, by the way, those years can be like, the wait list can be for years. That in New York? The opening up was at NYCHA. Wow, the New York Housing Authority? Wow, New York City Housing Authority opening up. Oh yeah, peeps don't get too excited because they're gonna cherry pick. Yeah, rent increasing. So if they cherry pick, I wonder who they're going to choose. And isn't it interesting? I just find it interesting that Jeepers, they just happened to open up the NYCHA the first time for 15 years when there was an immigrant crisis and they were being put out the shelters. Huh. Perfect timing. Perfect timing. seeing a black man leasing out a property. Well, actually, he bought the property from a white male, introduced himself to the black tenants. Fast forward, all of a sudden, it's a problem paying. Fast forward, they just up and moved out. The rent didn't change. He introduced himself. They just up and moved out. Why do you think that is? Ignorant, I don't want to rent from you. Just look up, why did he move out? Nothing's gonna change. Just contact me. See, what he should have done is said nothing and just sent a letter out and have a receptionist. Those Negroes would have probably stayed. It's the same property, no change in it. Willing to work with you on the rent, introduced himself, being professional. They moved out. Why? That's typical of a lot of our people. Self-hating. I ain't paying you. They love white supremacy. Well, let's see it come save your behind. I'll wait. They love having a person that doesn't look like them over them. Why'd you move out? Just up and gone. So that right there, that's what they like. That's why people do what they do. It's about resources. Been here all this time, and I don't want to hear about, oh, you know what they do, and what do we do? Well, we try to do this. We act just like, as I said on the Patreon, children of the clan. Whatever they do, they hate you, and you do too. Life is business. It's not for play. We don't want to hear that. We're okay, got $50 or maybe 5,000 till next week. What's gonna happen when the 5,000 is gone? Yeah, that's what I thought. There is a competition for resources. Who do you think is not gonna get them? And as a result, when people are struggling, they just had one elderly lady. She was supposed to, they were evicting her from a rental. What does she do? Unalived herself. They just had one elderly lady. She was being, I think, foreclosed on or evicted. What does she do? Burn her house down. They've had people can't afford the house to buy the loom, whole family. Murder, unalive, murder, suicide. And this, you think it's bad now. I think 2025 is going to be worse. All the layoffs. Intel laying off, what, is it 1,000 people? All the layoffs. But where's all the hiring? Where's the job replacement? If it's not happening for the majority of the country, what do you think is going to happen to people that happen to these folk right here? You don't have your own economy. What's going to happen? Middle class pretty much wiped out, at least a good portion of it. It might be, if we're lucky, 20 or 30% holding on in this group, let alone the whole country. Middle class has been pretty much wiped out. The middle class is check to check. And Lord, if a hiccup comes. But these are conversations that we don't want to have because it's not fun. It's doomsday. This right here is just one location. I'm afraid it's going to travel. It's not, this is just Chicago. If black unemployment goes to, as projected, 50% by 2030, this will spread. Look at this, Chicago suicide trends. Significant increase among black men and black women.
Nationally, black residents were the only group to experience significant increases in suicides among both men and women. Meanwhile, suicides residents were the only group to experience significant 360 black people died by suicide in Chicago. According to a University of Chicago study, the trends in that time largely mirrored what happened nationally.
Did you hear that? The trends of that time largely what happens nationally. So nationally, I'll see Chicago, Illinois. Chicago's a city, Illinois is a state. Nationally, that means other states, I would assume. Nationally. So it's beyond Chicago, beyond Illinois. That's why I've been saying we got to get creative in our thinking. They're going to starve you out. I'm shutting down something right now to save money. You betcha. Why? My husband getting ready to spend a whole lot of money making life changes. And I said, Austin, this would be so much. I'm so tired of, so much going on. Less stress. Somebody's planning. All about resources, conserving your resources. When people don't have resources, cannot find employment, and if you think, well, Section 8 going to be your saving grace, good luck with that. Good luck. Again, they're prioritizing the immigrant. So what does that tell you? You're going to have a whole lot of more homeless. And I don't see the politicians or the churches addressing that issue. Can't. I don't see it. Because if you do, we're going to have to get to the root cause. And we don't want to accept accountability. Don't contribute to your own demise. And now when people need help, they're just trying to survive. They don't sit down and do accountability. They're just trying to survive. But keep this in mind. What this is saying,
360 black people died by suicide in Chicago. According to a University of Chicago study, the trends in that time largely mirrored what happened nationally.
so I guess go by state to state. When people cannot secure a place to live, it's like now they said there's a report saying mortgages or people are defaulting on their mortgages. Defaulting. People are losing their cars for defaulting on mortgages, foreclosure. They're losing their cars, car repossession. So once you take a person's car and a place to live, what else is there? You got the vehicle, you got my housing. What else is there? No one's going to be well happy go lucky. Well, seriously, you've taken the transportation, you've taken the place to. What else is there? What you going to do? Cook on air? Live off air? Where do you go? Despair kicks in, desperation kicks in. And this on the screen is what I'm afraid is kicking in. So when I say they're going to starve you out, you can call this the Doomsday Channel if you want to. A person like that, you must be a little slow. I'm just going to come out and say it. Then when stuff like this happens, I can't believe this. I can't believe they doing that. Well, you better believe it, and that's what they are doing. I can't believe this is happening. Head in the sand. Like children, got $5,050 in your purse today, and you just skip it down the hall and, oh, I'm fine, everything's good. And then you look up, that job is ended, and that little 5,000 you got in your little purse ain't working. It's not enough. It's gone. So what you gonna do? I don't know, boo. Go sign up for Section 8. That's an apartment on housing. Too late. Why? It's going to the immigrants. Desperation kicks in. A low quality of life. People started freaking out. More than 360 black people died by suicide in Chicago. According to a University of Chicago study, the trends in that time largely mirrored what happened nationally. Black residents were the only group to experience significant increases in suicides among both men and women. Meanwhile, suicides decreased among white men and women. There was also a higher proportion of suicide deaths among black teens. Now, decreased among white men and women, and you already saw this right here. 50% for the first time, black suicide rate. Up to 50% for the first time, surpassing white youth who saw a 17% decline. Don't understand life, don't understand family, don't understand building. See, people that build are passing on generational wealth. People that build. Men that build, that's what they do. Don't nobody want a loser unless you don't know any better. Men that plan and build, that's what they do. That's why women respect them. That's why people People respect people that respect themselves and those that build, not those that just destroy and kill. So think about all the business owners in Chicago. I've seen some in Atlanta. Every time you look at somebody try, then somebody might get robbed or the business owner might die. Congratulations, idiot. You really freaking done it. Congratulations, fool. Your own demise. We need jobs. What the hell for? For a bunch of heathens? And then the good, decent people among us don't get a chance. Why? It's too many fools in the stands. Tear that down. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Don't understand life is all I can think of it. I think a lot of people don't our people don't understand life. That's why you're failing at it. Just this is ridiculous. So I'm afraid these suicide trends are not gonna end anytime soon. If this is happening now, what's going to happen if 2020-30's projection of one report is true of black unemployment expected to be at 50%? What the heck you think's going to happen? So, I'm going to hop on Section 8. Good luck. I think the heck not. They're going to have that for the other folks. Again, it's limited resources. Can't get along for, I mean, this is just crazy. But maybe you get what you give. And it said it mirrored it what? Nationally. So this is just Chicago. And look what's happening. It's all, as I said before, they're going to what? I'm going to play it one more time in closing. Starve you out. And people can't survive, can't make it. Panic and despair sets in. Can't survive, then unalive.
60 black people died by suicide in Chicago 2021. More than 360 black people died by suicide in Chicago. According to a University of Chicago study, the trends in that time largely mirrored what happened nationally. Black residents were the only group to experience significant increases in suicide.
And if we keep on having this high unemployment, we're losing our homes, our jobs, transportation. That's what's going to occur. And people don't like the truth. People don't like the truth. That's doomsday. Okay, just trying to give you a little warning. So when I say they're going to starve you out, unfortunately, this is one of the things that happen when they starve you out. But hey, we can keep on fighting each other, making everybody else rich, looking like the dumbest chick, a stupid witch. Unbelievable. I thought about it. You haven't seen, seriously, in closing, I haven't seen a lot. You know how they were doing like so school is out, about the summer. And I said, well, last summer they were having all those like downtown takeovers and all that going on. And I said, wow, they seem to slow down. So I'm assuming school's going to start, pretty soon. And I said, haven't seen that in a couple of months. Haven't seen it in a couple of months. But I have heard that a lot of our people are leaving Chicago. I wonder why. Lack of resources like housing. They taking away the Section 8 vouchers. Lack of resources. I can't get my food stamp. Lack of resources. If they're taking away the Section 8 voucher and that's what's needed to survive, and you don't have that, that's why I think we're seeing an increase in black suicide. Anyway, thanks for watching. Feel free to comment, like, subscribe, and share. And I'm out.